Hi, welcome back to Miss Johnson's ELA lessons. This is mini lesson number 2, and today we are going to be talking about footnotes. Before we get started though, what I want you to do is do a quick read of the poem that we're talking about. So we are talking about fair weather clouds. So please go back and just reread the poem again, just to kind of refresh your memory on the things that we've been talking about. All right, go. All right, you guys, I'm going to trust that you went back and reread the poem. So today we are going to talk about footnotes, and I'm going to read this paragraph to you about footnotes now. Footnotes are essential for understanding a text. Most readers read the footnotes first before they read the text. The text that has the footnote will have a small number following it. Okay, so that's a little information about footnotes. What you notice is there are footnotes in my footnote explanation. You know it because, like the paragraph said, it has a small number next to it. So there's a number 1 right here, a number 2 right here, and a number 3 right here. So footnotes, the number 1 is right after the word footnotes. So when I go down to the bottom of my page, I'm probably going to be looking for like a quick definition of what footnotes are. So it says footnotes 1. I'm going to go down to number 1 at the bottom of my page and I'm going to read it. It says, a footnote is a note placed at the bottom of the page that gives additional information. Okay, so what that did was it took the word footnote and defined it down here on the bottom, and it tells us that it's at the bottom of the page. Okay, I'm going to read the next sentence. Footnotes are essential for understanding a text. Most readers read the footnotes first before they read the text. Number 2, if it's at the end of a sentence, it's probably additional information about that whole sentence. So I go down to number 2 and it says, often the more important information is found in the footnotes. That's important information for me to know. I would agree with that statement. Finally, the last sentence is the text that has the footnote will have a small number following it. So here's the number 3 right here. And it's at the end of the sentence, so it's talking about the small number at the end, or the small number found in the text. And down here in number 3 it says, called the subscript. So these little numbers right here are called the subscript, another important piece of information that we found in our footnotes. So now if you look back at your text, fair weather clouds, there are footnotes. There are footnotes because you see little numbers next to each of these words, and also because you see it down here. Typically footnotes are a lot smaller than the text and found at the bottom. We found that information right here. It's at the bottom. It's the foot of the text. Makes sense? It's at the bottom. Feet are at the bottom. So what we're going to do first is you're going to turn to your homeschool work packet and we're going to read the directions. It says footnotes can be included at the bottom of a poem to give the reader more information. They help the reader visualize the text. I might circle that word visualize. Look at the footnotes at the bottom of Fair Weather Clouds and think about how they help you visualize the poem, then complete the chart. So remember, when we're visualizing, we're imagining things that are happening, right? We're using our 5 senses to visualize what is happening. So in our chart, there are 2 things that you need to do. The first thing that we're going to do is you are going to say what the footnote says. So for each of the 4 words, splay, cumulus, billowing, and nimbus, you are going to go down and look at the footnotes, and I would just copy and paste what the footnote says. So for number 1, splay, 1 splay, I would copy and paste 2 spread out. Remember, when you're copying and pasting, use quotation marks if you're copying the text. For cumulus, white puffy cloud with a flat base that indicates little or no precipitation. Then copy and paste billowing and nimbus. Go do that now. Okay, let's look at number 1. Number 1, the word says splay. It's in line 6. I'm going to go back to line 6 and I'm going to read that line. I'm going to read that line keeping in mind what the footnote says. Splay means to spread out. So when I go back and read that line, I'm going to think of splay, to spread out. Now I tilt my head back, splay my hands. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Splay means to spread out my hands. So What does this help me visualize? This helps me visualize that somebody is laying in the grass and spreading out their hands in the grass. So go ahead and write down what this helps you visualize in the last part of your graphic organizer for display. Okay, the next word is cumulus. It is located on line 9. What the footnote says is white puffy cloud with a flat base that indicates little or no precipitation. So I'm thinking of a white fluffy cloud. Now I'm going to go back and reread the line with cumulus. So it says, above the sky, the blue field is thick with piles of cumulus cotton, ripe for picking. So cotton looks like this. Cotton is something that you pick, and it's what clothes and shirts are made out of. So what does this help the reader visualize? This helps me visualize that these clouds look like cotton. They look white and fluffy and look kind of cozy. So write that down for what does this help you visualize the reader for cumulus. Next we have billowing. It is in line 14. What the footnote says billowing is filling up and swelling outward. So filling up. Now I'm going to go back kind of to my text and reread it. Ripe for picking, stuffing and quilting, heaping and billowing about. So this helps me visualize that the clouds are big and fluffy. They're nice and big. So what does it help the reader visualize? It helps me visualize how big the white fluffy clouds are. And last is the word Nimbus. It's on line 19. The footnote says it is large gray rain cloud. So I'm going to go back and say later when they grow, gray and nimbus. So now what does this help me visualize? It helps me visualize that the clouds are changing from white and fluffy to this dark and gray nimbus cloud. So in our footnote right here, we actually learned about 2 different types of clouds. If you turn your page over to the pictures, we have 2 different pictures of clouds. We have some white fluffy clouds, and we have some dark gray clouds. What do you think these clouds are called? And what do you think these clouds are called? Go ahead and write the name of clouds on your paper here. This will help you in understanding the footnote a little bit more. Go back and look at the footnote if you don't know. There's splay, cumulus, billowing, and nimbus. 2 of those words are these type of clouds. Go ahead and go. And last but not least, answer the question on the bottom and then log your answer into the homeschool log. So it says, look at the footnotes under fair weather clouds. Which 2 footnotes give more information about types of clouds?